Let's talk about artifacts, and this time it's about the toughness set. The 2-piece effect, it increases the hunter's critical hit rate by 8%. The 4-piece effect, it increases the hunter's critical hit damage by 32%. The set passive is very straightforward. This saves you a lot of RNG when building your hunters, since you'll get a fixed amount of crit stats. Now moving on to the set equips. 2-piece is great if you're pushing your crit chance to 50%. 4-piece is a good pick as well if you're lacking crit damage. But as a generic rule for crits, I suggest checking your hunter stats. A 50% crit rate and at least 190 crit damage is a good stopping point. So if you can attain that with other sets, then it's better to not equip this. The hunters I recommend using this set are Sangjinu, especially on the battlefield of time where you want to clear the content faster. Chehei-in, she's a crit reliant hunter and definitely want those extra crits. And Beck, as he likes to do multiple attacks, which means more chances to trigger crits. Make sure to follow or subscribe since I'll be making more like this. Let's talk about artifacts, and this time it's about the one-hit kill set. The 2-piece effect is a 25% ultimate skill damage direct power boost for user's ult. The 4-piece effect reduces the ultimate skill cooldown by 40%. This is massive since the user will be able to ult more often. Now moving on to the set equips. 2-piece is solid if you only need the additional damage, and the 4-piece is excellent for hunters who like to spam their ultimate to either deal damage or provide support. The hunters I recommend using this set are Choi Jong-in, since his basic skills reset when using ultimate. Emma can also benefit from this, on top of her reset mechanic, and Charlotte's ult focused playstyle fits this set. Make sure to follow or subscribe since I'll be making more like this. Let's talk about artifacts, and this time it's about the solid analysis set. The 2-piece effect, it increases the break effectiveness by 15%, resulting to a much faster breaking of enemies. The 4-piece effect is a plus 30% break effectiveness when attacking enemies that are weak to the user's element. So let's say you equip this to Soji Woo. When she attacks water weak enemies, her break is 30% more effective, but when the enemy is not, then it will just deal 15% additional break. Now moving on to the set equips. 2-piece is usable if you're only planning to increase the hunter's break effectiveness a bit and combine it with other 2-piece set. 4-piece is a solid pick, especially if you'll be using the hunter more often to enemies where it has elemental advantage. The hunters I recommend using this set are Sorin, Baek Yoon-ho, and Emma. These hunters have super breaking capabilities by default, but if you slap this artifact with them, then they'll be able to break enemies much faster. Make sure to follow or subscribe since I'll be making more like this. Let's talk about artifacts, and this time it's about the Guardian set. The 2-piece effect offers additional 30% shield amount. This makes the shield thicker, meaning hunters get super armor effect. The 4-piece effect, whenever anyone on the team gets a shield, they get a 10% damage increase for 10 seconds. This buff is very straightforward and easy to trigger and maintain. Now moving on to the set equips. 2-piece is usable since who else doesn't want a bigger shield, and 4-piece is an excellent buff as it can be triggered by anyone as long as they generate a shield. The hunters I recommend using this set are Soji Woo, as her shield uptime is very consistent, Hansami, since her skill 2 shield reset is fit for this buff, and Shimizu Akari, since her kit revolves around shielding. Make sure to follow or subscribe since I'll be making more like this. Let's talk about artifacts, and this time it's about the armed set. The 2-piece effect, very straightforward. It increases the user's attack by 5%. The 4-piece effect ignores 18% of the target's defense. This is huge against tanky or with high defense enemies. This basically lets the user hit harder to anyone stacking defense. And onto the set equips. 2-piece is worth using as a stat stick and can be combined with other set. And 4-piece is a great pick since it enables your hunter to deal more damage. The hunters I recommend using this set are Yu Soo-yun, as she's built for defense penetration playstyle, Libora for an off-field attack with her foxes, and Choi Jong-in since he also scales with defense penetration. Make sure to follow or subscribe since I'll be making more like this. Let's talk about artifacts. And this time, it's about the Angel in White set. The 2-piece effect, it increases the user's HP by 8%. The 4-piece effect increases the user's healing by 8% and increases the damage of your strongest hunter. This is nice since the buff is universal, so it doesn't matter what stat your hunter scales with. Now moving on to the set equips, 2-piece is a nice stat stick for your supports as it can increase their HP. 4-piece is a nice pick since it provides good utility for your strongest hunter. The hunters I recommend using this set are Han Semi, Min Byung-gu, and Maylin. This set can further enhance their healing, plus the additional damage increase is always welcome for the hunter they are supporting. Make sure to follow or subscribe since I'll be making more like this. Let's talk about artifacts. And this time, it's about the Iron Will set. The 2-piece effect, it provides 8% defense, simple and solid. The 4-piece effect, every time the user casts their ultimate, they gain additional 5% defense to a maximum of 25%. Additionally, for one time per run, their next ultimate skill will deal another 50% damage. The 2-piece is a good stat stick, definitely usable alone and can be comboed with another 2-piece set. The 4-piece is at great value, plus 25% defense is no joke, and the one-time ult damage boost is a nice buff to push the user's total damage. So, who can use this set? This set is undoubtedly made for Thomas Andre. He can stack the 4-piece passive very fast due to his 2 ult phases. Another one is Charlotte, since she'll be able to activate her ult very often as well. Beck and Gogan-hee can try this too. However, breaking sets are much better. Make sure to follow or subscribe since I'll be making more like this.